The world of Stardew Valley is incredible, with so many different interesting locations, hidden secrets, and even faraway locales that you can unlock. But spread throughout the world are a bunch of different hidden areas. Some are pretty obvious that quite a few people should know, and some are more hidden and require you to do some interesting things to get into them. And in this video, I want to highlight my top 10 favorite hidden areas across Stardew Valley. Obviously, this video contains a lot of spoilers, so view at your own discretion. Let's get started. In the number 10 spot is the Colored Crystals Cavern. This is a very special spot located in Ginger Island, and we will be returning to this island in the future, but this spot can be found in the western part of the island in the same general area where the island farm is. But directly west of the farm is a small pond, and just north of that pond is a staircase that would take you up towards a grove of mahogany trees with a bunch of tiger slimes. And just northeast of this grove you can find a cave entrance hidden behind this tree. Inside is a pretty beautiful area with a lion surrounded by 2 torches on the far end of the room and 5 different crystals of different colors scattered across the center. And of course, this is a small puzzle, where basically you have to play a game of Simon Says. Not that one version of Simon Says where somebody's giving orders, but the memory game where you have to press the correct colors in the correct order, where you can interact with the lion to begin the game and click on the correct crystals in the correct order. Each round, the game gets faster and you will have to press more of the crystals, but should you complete 5 rounds, you will get 3 golden walnuts as a reward. Where I always love to come across this mini game in various games, and the room you play this game in is just super cool. In the number 9 spot is the tunnel. This is an interesting location because it seems so obvious in hindsight. I remember coming across this place for the first time and thinking to myself that I never thought to come here, where the tunnel is a pretty small location that you can access via the backwoods, where you can go to the bus stop that is just east of the farm and just west of Pelican Town, head up the road and head west to enter the backwoods. You may recognize this area, but this is the same spot that you go to when you leave the farm heading north towards the mountains, but it is at a lower elevation compared to that passage. But should you continue heading west along the road, past where you find Linus's blackberry basket and into the opening of the tunnel, you will reach this spot. Where I never thought about continuing down this road and trying to enter the tunnel, and I know I'm not the only person to have experienced this. It is a pretty generic area that doesn't have too much going on. I know that some players like to throw kegs or other artisan items in here to save some space on their farm, but the most important part about this place is how you come here during the mysterious Chi quest, where by putting a battery pack into this panel near the center of the tunnel, you will begin a kind of long quest chain that will lead you to some more cool places. In the number 8 spot is the Quarry Mine. This is a really fun area because it feels like a classic fantasy dungeon. You have the main mine in Stardew Valley in the eastern corner of the map where you go to fight monsters, mine minerals, and work your way all the way down to the bottom of the mine. But just east of the mine is the quarry, where this is an open air location that will have a few different rocks and mining nodes generated every day. You unlock this location after completing the crafts room bundle in the community center, and there is absolutely no other way that you can unlock this whatsoever. Where upon completing the crafts room, a bridge to the quarry will be built. In the upper left corner of the quarry is a tiny little cave entrance that you can go into to enter the quarry mine. The entrance is actually in the same map as the mine entrance, but you can go down this unique ladder to begin exploring a pretty large area. You have some winding tunnels filled with rocks, slimes, and haunted skulls, but should you make it to the end of these tunnels, you will find a statue of the Grim Reaper, and should you interact with the statue, you will receive the Golden Scythe. This item is a cooler looking and a better version of the standard scythe, and overall I just love the spot because of the vibes. Like I mentioned earlier, it feels like a classic fantasy dungeon. You have this somewhat challenging area that you unlock, have to fight your way through, and you unlock a special reward at the end of it. In the number 7 spot is the casino. This is a really fun area that you unlock from completing the mysterious Chi quest, the quest that we started doing at the tunnel in the number 9 spot. As you complete all the other quests, such as bringing beets to Mayor Lewis's fridge and putting a solar essence in the sand dragon's mouth, you can find the club card in your farmhouse's lumber pile, where this card will grant you access to the casino that is located at the oasis in the desert. This is that cool pink building that Sandy works at, where in the top right corner you may have seen this bouncer that wouldn't let you pass. Well, now he will. As you head inside, there are a ton of cool things in here. There is a panel where you can read your statistics, you can buy the statue of Endless Fortune here, and there is a merchant where you can buy many cool things. Most notable to most players would be the rare crow and the hardwood fences, but in order to buy these items, you need to get special Chi coins, where you can convert gold to get some Chi coins, but you are inside of a casino, where there are 2 different forms of gambling you can partake in here. One is a classic version of slots where you can just spin and hope you win. and the other is Calico Jack, a variant of Blackjack where you need to draw cards that add up to and including 21 without going any higher. As someone who likes gambling games like Blackjack but not gambling itself, I always enjoy playing mini games like these, and I have had a lot of fun playing them here in the casino. In the number 6 spot is the Summit. This entire video is a bunch of spoilers, but this one is probably the biggest one on the list, so if you haven't finished the game and want a surprise, you should probably skip over this section. Where as you play through Stardew Valley, you can work towards perfection. This requires you to basically complete everything in the game, produce and forage every item, complete all the monster eradication goals, reach maximum friendship with every villager, find all the star drops, and more. A lot more. Where this is a pretty hefty goal to reach that a lot of players like going for. Where if you are able to complete all these tasks and achieve perfection, you will beat the game in the most traditional sense, and you will unlock the special hidden area. This spot is located just north of the railroad, and you may recognize it because there are some stairs that are normally blocked by a boulder. The first time you come up to the summit, you will get a very specific event and a special heartwarming cutscene. And after the event and cutscene, you can come up to this place however many times you want and look down upon the lands of Stardew Valley, where I just love this location because of the meaning it has in the game, and it also houses a pretty beautiful sight. In the number 5 spot is the Dinosaur Level. This is a very special level that you will occasionally come across in Skull Cavern. The special mines that you unlock once you get the Skull Key at the bottom of the mines and make your way to the desert. Or fun fact, the Skull Key can also be used to play the second arcade game in the saloon, Junimo Kart. But as I said, you can explore through Skull Caverns and you will find many different types of rooms, and some of them are known as prehistoric rooms. Where these rooms are infested with pepper wrecks, awesome dinosaurs that will breathe fire at you as you try to fight them, where you will want to bait out their fire breath attack and move to the side to strike them as they continue breathing forward for a short time. In this room you can also find mutant flies, iridium bats, and fiddlehead ferns that you can forage, but the coolest part are definitely the pepper wrecks. You can find dinosaur eggs occasionally sitting on the floor in here, or as occasional drops from the pepper wrecks, where you can donate this to the museum, or you can throw them in an incubator in your coop and get your own dinosaur on the farm. In the number 4 spot is the Witch's Swamp. This is a very fun hidden area that is part of another quest, where you have to complete the Dark Talisman quest chain that eventually brings you to this area. In the northeastern corner of the railroad, you may have seen this small cave entrance with a weird artifact with legs blocking the path. Once you get through the entrance during the quest, you enter the Witch's Swamp, but you quickly come across the Witch's Henchman, who you also need to get past by completing the Goblin Problem quest. Once you get past the Henchman, you can enter the Witch's Hut. Some players may recognize the witch because she may fly over your coop or slime hutch on your farm and leave a void egg or turn any slimes into black slimes in each building respectively. And the witch herself is an interesting character, having previously been married to the wizard, where very interestingly, there is a warp spot in both the witch's hut and the wizard's tower that will teleport you from one location to the other. Where in the witch hut you can also find shrines that will let you wipe your memory of your ex-spouses, turn your children into doves, and allow monsters to appear on your farm. So some very interesting stuff. And outside of the hut, you can also fish in the waters in the swamp, and you can even catch a special void salmon that can only be caught here. Where I just really love the environment of the swamp and the hut, and this is a pretty important spot in the game. In the number 3 spot is the Secret Woods. I mean, it has the word secret in its name, I have to add it to the list. Where in Cindersap Forest, you can go to the northwestern corner of the area to find this passage just north of the wizard's tower. At the start of each save, this is blocked by a large log that requires you to have at least a steel axe in order to clear, but there is also a trick that some people like to do, but some people also don't like to do because it's a bit cheesy, where you can place a chair on the other side of the log and sit in it to get across. Where once you get through here, you can enter the Secret Woods. Where straight off the bat, this is just a super cool area with great vibes. It's a densely forested region that houses 6 large stumps that you can chop down with at least a copper axe in order to get hardwood, which these large stumps regrow daily. But there are also a bunch of slimes around here that you can fight, and some different forageables as well. There is a cool pond in the southwestern corner of this area that you can fish in order to get a special wood skip fish. There is a statue by the name of Old Master Cannoli that you can bring a sweet gemberry to in order to get a star drop. And one final special place is the Strange Note quest that you get after reading Secret Note number 23, where you can enter the Secret Woods with maple syrup to get a really fun cutscene where you encounter a grizzly bear who will take the maple syrup, thank you, and give you bear's knowledge, which permanently increases the sell price of both blackberries and salmon berries by 3 times. In the number 2 spot is the Mutant Bug Lair. This is another hidden area that you unlock during the Dark Talisman quest chain, but before the Witch's Swamp. whereas you successfully donate a combined total of 60 different artifacts and minerals to the museum, you will get the Rusty Key. This will grant you access to the sewers, which is a really cool hidden area in its own right that has a statue of uncertainty that will allow you to change your professions, but more importantly features the ever so popular shadow person, Krobus, where during the Dark Talisman quest, you can come and speak to Krobus in the sewers, who will open the passage to the Mutant Bug Lair and you can begin exploring it, where this is just a super cool area that I like a lot. There are many different mutant bugs and mutant flies that you will have to fight through in this area. There are a few different places that you can run around to in order to navigate around this area, and there are even a few plants you can break. All around this area is some water you can fish in order to get the special slime jack fish, and I just love this area because of the vibes. Similar to the Quarry Mine, this feels kind of like a fantasy dungeon that you come through to get a special item, where this place has some bonus stuff with how you can get the slime jack fish, and all in all, I love coming through here, fighting all the different bugs, and exploring the lair. But now for the number one spot, for my favorite hidden area in all of Stardew Valley, and it has to go to the Pirate Cove. This is another really cool spot located on Ginger Island, and as you arrive to Ginger Island, you are unable to enter this area until you accomplish multiple different tasks. First, you have to gain access to the western side of the island, then you need to rebuild the island house, and then you need to rebuild the island resort. Whereas you rebuild the resort, the little bit of rubble down here gets cleared, where you can then go through this passage into the southeastern part of the island. Right off the bat, you have a small area over here with a few different fun things going on and various other secrets I won't get into in this video. But the part that I love a lot is as you get to the right end of this area, you have the cove you can enter. And this is just a really nice looking area that I love a lot. You have a variety of cool decorations around here like these tables and all of these barrels. You got some nice spots of water, including a giant area of water that you can fish in. You can catch a few different things, but most notable are the stingray and the Gorman statue decoration item, and all in all, I just love the look of this area and the cool things you can fish up, but there's more. Because whenever it is not raining on an even day of the season, you will learn why this area is called the Pirate Cove, because a ton of pirates will appear. The entire cove will be a lot more decorated, and the cove will be a lot more lively. This area looked super cool in general, but with all the additional decorations and different pirates around here, it becomes super cool in a different way as well. You can get a mead once a day from the bar if you're wearing a pirate hat, eye patch, or deluxe pirate hat. You can chat with a bunch of different pirates, including this reference to Mario and Luigi. During winter, you can sometimes see jellyfish, similar to those found at the Dance in the Moonlight Jellies, and best of all is that you can play a darts minigame, where this is a pretty easy and straightforward minigame that resembles classic darts a lot, and it's pretty fun. For anyone who doesn't know, the objective is to get exactly 301 points within the 20 shots you are given. If you go over the points on a shot, you can keep playing, but you need to reach the 301 points before you run out of darts. The first 3 times you win this game, you will get a golden walnut each time, and each one thereafter is just for the fun of the game. And I've definitely played this game a fair bit beyond the amount I needed for the golden walnuts, because it's just a fun game for me in a really cool area that is my favorite hidden area in all of Stardew Valley. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed. These are obviously all just my opinions with what I value in the game, and there are a ton of other hidden areas all across Stardew Valley and the various other parts of the game. If there are any spots that you enjoy, areas on this list, or ones that I didn't mention, feel free to share them down in the comments below. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.